You deploy because your nation sends you to these places. And then one day you come home and you realize it was all a lie. Our town is dying. 1 out of every 4 homes is an abandoned, dilapidated structure, and you get told, keep picking up trash and let leaders do what leaders do. Elected leaders in our towns, in our states, in our country, absolutely are self-serving. You know, you come home and you realize that I can take you 5 minutes from here and show you where kids have it worse than the kids I saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. So that's why I come back here and I started speaking up for the things that I believe in, and I will not shut up for nobody.
That was Richard Ojeda, the Democrat running for U.S. Congress in West Virginia, who gained national attention for helping teachers in the state win a pay raise. Michael Moore speaking with him there in his new film. So, Eddie, let's get you launched into this conversation. Michael was talking a lot about the concern that clinging to hope could even be dangerous at this point. But when you look at the activism that this presidency has sparked, and you look at the people running for office, isn't that the beauty of the process, and isn't that hopeful?
Absolutely. I would want to make a distinction between hope and optimism. Optimism would be dangerous in this moment.
Right.
Hope is, I think, the source of the imaginative leap that allows us to see beyond the darkness of the moment. When you are bereft of hope, when you're hopeless, it becomes difficult to see what's possible beyond the ugliness of now. So I think hope is absolutely essential. But optimism, that's that Panglossian stuff, you know, from Voltaire's Candide, right? Just it's the best of all possible worlds. We don't want to do that. But I want to say this really quickly. Donald Trump, this obsession with Trump, absolves us of our sins. He becomes, his shoulders bear the national burden of the ugliness that's in all of us. It's so easy for us to just displace it all onto his shoulders, and he becomes the embodiment of the evil. When Donald Trump is in fact an exaggerated indication of what's going on in suburban white America, what's going on in rural white America, what's going on in urban America that's being gentrified, right? Donald Trump represents what is really ugly about who we are. And we're always falling back into these Pollyannish stories about America always on the road to a more perfect union, about the American idea, and it secures us from the fact that we don't have clean water in Flint. That we have children playing in playgrounds at East St. Louis that are still toxic as they rid us of deregulation, or deregulate, as it were. So part of what I'm trying to suggest here is that we can focus on Trump, but what Trump is not, I don't want to use the language of it makes it better for us. He presents an opportunity for us to actually reimagine ourselves as a country in the face of the ugliness that we see, not just in him, but that we see in Mitch McConnell, that we see in Paul Ryan, that we see in our neighbors, that we see in our workplace, that we see all around the country. Trump is just one indication of it all, to my mind.
Well, but he sows doubt. He sows doubt in people. I think it's one of the worst attributes someone can have, to be sowing doubt constantly about people, institutions, facts. It's destructive, it's divisive. And Michael Steele, jump in to what Eddie is saying, because I don't think it's just about Trump. I think this is about the Republican Party. Do they have a responsibility? Are they living up to it?
I would agree it's not just about Trump, but I don't think it's just about the Republican Party. Democrats voted for Trump too, and Democrats will vote for Trump in 2020. And so that is the underlying truth. I think Eddie puts his finger on an important point about how this is reflected back in so many ways on us. But the truth of the matter is, to the last point you made, Eddie, I think we're here because this is where we want to be. I mean, we can sit back and we can, talk about a hope, and we can talk about change, we can talk about optimism. We are where people want us to be. And so we don't move from here until we decide we want to move from here. So I guess I go back to Michael Moore's points that he was making, which begs the question, then what do you do? Because the truth of the matter is, people are where we are because this is a reflection of the moment. And there are a lot of people right now who are listening to this conversation and going, well, I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm okay. I have a president who's telling it like I want it told. So where's the counter narrative? Is the counter narrative a continuing gnashing of teeth about Donald Trump and how ugly and dark these times are? For a lot of Americans, there's light for them. They feel good right now. They feel better than they felt in a long time because they got a fighter. They got someone who's going to push back against the crazy system that has kept them down. There are people who look at this Flint situation and go, yeah, that's because the deep state wants it that way. Maybe Trump will change that. We don't know if that's true or not, if he will, but for a lot of people, that's their hope. And that's what they're pushing on right now. So we're here because we want to be here.
And to that point, we don't know where we really are going to go, but we certainly have seen what we've been through. And I think, Michael, you had such an interesting conversation, you said, with Steve Bannon about his thoughts, and it even affected how you finished your film.
Yes, a month or so ago, I wanted him to come on camera with me in my film and tell me how he pulled this off. And we sat down for 2 hours. At the end, he agreed smartly for himself, probably not to be in my movie. But he said the difference between our side and your side is that we go for the head wound, and your side likes to have pillow fights. And the truth of that statement just really, was searing to me. Because our side, and you've talked about the Republican Party here, you've talked about Trump, we really haven't discussed the role of the old guard of the Democratic Party that has kept back and has tried to stop the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of our world. And that, look, the largest political party in America is called the Non-Voters Party. Over 100 million people don't vote. They don't vote in part because states make it hard for them to vote. There's gerrymandering, there's all these things. But it's also because they have reached the point of hopelessness. And they've seen that neither party will help them. What we have on the ballot in November, though, are a whole different group of candidates. There are so many progressive, young, women, people that you normally hadn't seen on the ballot before that you're going to see now in November, that I hope, will give a reason for the non-voters to come out. We should not be trying to convince Trump voters at this point. If you're still for Trump after 2 years of what you've seen, I don't know what can be done. You're still welcome at Thanksgiving dinner, but that's about it. We should be spending every minute and ounce of our energy on reaching out to people and saying, hey, look who we've got on the ballot this time. It's not the same old, same old. The people of Flint, Michigan, they learned some time ago that the Democratic Party wasn't going to come to the rescue. And I show in the film, sadly, what the candidate and President Obama did to depress the vote. You have 8,000 African Americans in Flint who voted for Obama in his 2 elections and then did not vote for Hillary, did not show up to vote in 2016. They had essentially given up because they were being poisoned every day for a number of years and not getting any help. But there has been a shift in terms of who is on the ballot in November. And I am encouraging non-voters to come back just this last time, because it may be the last time. It may be. Stephen Colbert joked that when he introduced Trump after the election, the last president of the United States. That's funny, but there's some truth to it. And we have to understand that Trump, he's always lying, but he's always telling the truth. He is telling you what he's up to, what he's going to do, and how he's going to make the country in his image and likeness. And this has to be stopped. All of us, off the couch, off the bench, into the game. Everybody, even though, so you say you're a Republican. Maybe we disagree on things, but one thing we agree on is our time is up. Right now.
Michael Moore. The film is Fahrenheit 11/9. It is in theaters nationwide this Friday. Guys, we only had a half hour this time,
Wow.
so we couldn't even get enough. You guys got to come back again soon. Anand's new book, Winners Take All, is in stores now. Eddie, Susan, Michael, Steele, thank you all very much as well. That's going to do it for us this morning. Thank you, Michael. Steph.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.